Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Heather, and on this channel we like to walk a very fine line between a shopping addicted makeup monster and a responsible adult with a makeup hobby. Now, I really enjoy eyeshadow, singles, duochromes, multi-chromes, palettes, blush, highlight, bronzer, lip gloss, basically everything except pressed glitter. Today we are going to be checking out the Ccolor Purple Rain palette, which is clearly a dupe for another palette from He Who Shall Not Be Named. And I am so excited to get into this palette. I have been showing so much restraint by not opening this palette on my own. So now we're going to open it up together because I can't wait any longer. So this is what the actual palette looks like. Let's pop it open. And it looks like that. So originally I was going to do the video, film the look first, and then, you know, do the swatches and everything, but I kind of wanted to do the swatches with you to see what these look like before we do the actual eye look, so hopefully we can get a really good look. You know, with color, with brands that are typically duping other brands, or they tend to be less expensive, which this definitely was. I think this shipped to my house was only about $13, and I did have to pay for shipping. So the palette itself, I think, ended up being $10 after I found a promo code. So this was an incredibly affordable palette. You know, when you have super affordable palettes, the one thing that you tend to wonder is this going to be any good? Is it going to be, you know, pigmented enough? Am I going to be able to get like a really rich, vibrant kind of look out of this? Or is it just going to be like meh? So that's what I want to try out here today. Now, one of the other things you should know is actually my aunt BeauTK Unfiltered here on YouTube did also pick up this palette and is also planning to do a video. So you can check out my video and then you can hop over and check her video out as well. That way you can kind of get two different people's perspectives on this palette and decide whether or not this might be something that you want to pick up here in the future. Alright, let's swatch some stuff, shall we? So this is Ice Crystal, Lilac Dream, Rain, and Faith. Those are all really pretty. Now I can see here that the like highlight portion of this is picking up, like you can see the brightness of that tone, and it's definitely like kind of a lavender with a gold reflect in it. It's really, really pretty, and I like this reflect too. Let's swatch some more. Alright, so we have Expose, Bravery, Rainfall, and Drizzle. And you can definitely see there's a little bit of fallout there, but you do get some pigment with those colors, which I think is good, because that's one of the things I was worried about, is no pigment. So we got some pigment there. We have Royalty. No, I'm sorry, this is Raincoat, Royalty, Imperial, and Storm. And so that's what that looks like. So this is Wanderlust, Majestic, Dust Cloud, Burlesque, and then we have Forgiving and Kingdom. And that is what the whole palette looks like. So I think, you know, my fear was that we were going to get this palette that didn't have any pigment, and I don't think that's the case. I think you do get a good amount of pigment, especially in some of these richer shades like this teal. You've got a purple here, you've got this kind of burgundy shade, a red, you've got this black with purple sparkles in it, which comes through pretty solid. And then you've got these blue and purple shades here, and then you've got a lot of really light tones here. If you're somebody who has deeper skin tone, you may not get a whole lot of use out of some of those lighter shades, but for somebody who's on the fair side, I think you'll be able to make use of this whole palette. So I think this looks super, super pretty. I think it's time to get a look together. Okay, let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit so that we can do this eye look. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is set down the whole look with Ice Crystal, which is that first shade, which is kind of that whitish colored shade. Just kind of get that all over. Alright, and then I'm going to grab some detail brushes here because we're going to do kind of an intricate little look. So I'm going to use a small little brush, and I'm going to grab the shade Rain, which was in that top row. And it's just a little light lilac shade. And I'm going to pop that into the front here. Make sure I'm in focus so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. And I'm gonna try to do this sort of like negative cut crease kind of thing. I saw something like this on Instagram and I thought it looked really, really pretty. So we're gonna try something similar here today. So basically I'm just getting that kind of lilac-y shade in there, and I'm just kind of buffing around the edges just to get it nice and smooth. So it kind of just looks like it fades off into nothing. Alright, and then I'm gonna go in with the shade Drizzle, which was sort of that like kind of gray blue color. And I'm just gonna bring that up from the bottom. So again, there's much more pigment concentrated here and less pigment as you get out there. I'm gonna take the shade Lilac Dream, which was that metallic in the top row. So the shades I've used so far, Ice Crystal, Rain, and Drizzle, and then I'm gonna take this shade Lilac Dream, and I'm gonna put that in as like a graphic liner at the base of this little look that we're doing here. So you can see it's going to pick up just a little bit of the light, but it's not going to be like overwhelming the whole eye look. I think that looks pretty. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and zoom us out, and I'm going to start working on the face, and then we will come back to do the rest of the eye look because I want to do kind of a graphic liner, but I think I need to have my foundation on first for that. So let's zoom back out. And I think this is actually zoomed back out enough to do the foundation and stuff. I want to try the Ordinary High Spreadability Fluid Primer and then their serum foundation, because I saw, who did I see? Neon MUA put this on, and it was like all of his blemishes and discoloration, everything like evened out, and it looked perfect. Like it almost felt like he put a filter on his video, which I don't think he does, but you guys can let me know in the comments if that's not the case. But yeah, so that really made me want to try this, and the two things together were like $15, so it really wasn't that much of a like splurge to try them. The two products together, this one and the foundation, were only about $15 together, so it didn't feel like too much of a splurge to go ahead and try this. Alright, and it doesn't say how much you're supposed to use, so I'm gonna guess like a dropper full should be enough. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the primer, I don't know if you can see it in my hands, you probably can't, but it's like very emollient, very like liquidy. Definitely feels silicone-like. It's got kind of that silicone slip to it. Can you guys see the staining from one of my other eye looks? I can. Alright, so I think that's a good amount. It does do a little bit of blurring. It's definitely got that like silicone slip to it though. You can definitely feel that. Let's go ahead and get into the foundation. I hope this is a good shade match. When I went to the store and I asked the lady to shade match me because they have little testers there, but they don't have them open. So I thought like the actual people that work there could open them to like test you, and they can't. So she literally was like, oh, this looks good. I'm like, okay, thanks. This is like a really, really wet foundation. This was the shade I picked out, by the way. Because I came in and said, I think this is my shade, but can you match me? Alright, so that was like a pump. Let me do like a pump and a half and see if that gives me the coverage I want. So I wouldn't say that like all of my imperfections have disappeared, but I definitely think this is very like blurred. I think it looks very smooth on my skin. Not a perfect color match per se, but it's not terrible. I think I can make it work. And I would say I probably ended up with about 2 pumps on my skin, and I think you'd probably be better served with about a pump to a pump and a half, just so you know. And this is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, one of my favorites. I'm going to actually use this Flower Beauty Heatwave. This is a liquid bronzer, which I haven't gotten out and used in a while, so I wanted to get it out and use it again. So we use that. And I like to put it on with a sponge because I think it gives a little bit better coverage, or like more cohesive looking spread than if I use like a brush. Alright. And I was just using, I don't even know what kind of sponge this is. Doesn't have any kind of imprint or anything, so I can't tell you what kind of sponge that is, but makeup sponge. Let's do a little bit of contour. I'm still using this e.l.f. Cream Contour palette, which I really, really enjoy. Alright, you guys, my camera cut off, of course, so I don't know how much of this that you caught, but basically I was using this My Melody and Kuromi palette from Wet n Wild. I mixed the 2 blushes together and kind of draped that over the cheeks here, and then I used this like bright kind of pinky purpley highlighter and did that along the cheekbones here, and then tapped a little on my nose, of course, because I love highlighter. And now I think we're ready to go back in and finish the eyes. So I think what I'm going to start with is the shade Rainfall, which is this shade here. And I'm going to kind of craft the like wing look that I want to go for. Okay, so I just started going back into this Purple Rain palette. I took Rainfall, which is the deepest matte purple in the palette, and I'm just starting to kind of craft that wing here. Now here's the real thing. just making a double on the other side. Kind of like that. Is it 100% perfect wings? No, of course not. Then it wouldn't be my channel. I did get a little bit of fallout, but it did dust away pretty easily, so that's good. I'm going to grab a pencil brush and I'm going to pick up the lighter shade Wanderlust, which is just a smidge lighter. It's kind of that raspberry shade here. And I'm going to use that to kind of smoke out along the top part of this. Just to give it a little bit more dimension. And then the last part that I'm going to do, I'm going to go in with the shade Storm, which is the shade Storm here. And I'm going to take that and smoke it really, really, really close to my lash line. Hopefully keep it nice and close. So you get kind of a gradient effect between the three colors. And I think for some reason I managed to keep this side a little bit more apart than this side. This side is definitely looking closer together. It's whatever. What I do for the lower lash line is, I can't help myself, I want to take some of this teal shade and then I'm going to smoke it into that Storm shade. And then let's get some black liner on because I think that's going to make the bottom lash not look quite so heavy. Now I want to get into the one product that I'm going to use that's more of a high-end brand, and that is this MAC Cosmetics Magic Extension Mascara. I got this from Influencer to be able to do a review, so it's a free product that I received for review purposes. It says 90% of, I'm assuming the people they surveyed, said lashes achieved an over-the-top exaggerated volume. 94% said lashes look longer, fuller, and lifted. There are fibers in this, so this is a fiber mascara. And it looks like you can see the like wand style on the back here. So let's give this a try. Ready for this mascara? Let's give it a try. Alright, I definitely like how it's looking on the lower lash line, because I don't know if you can tell. You can kind of tell there. You can see. It like separated all the lashes, and it did give it like a nice black color. It didn't give me lots of transfer onto my like cheekbones or anything. So I'm going to wait for this to dry, and then I'm going to go back in with a second coat. Go in with one more coat here. Okay, now by 3 coats, I think you can finally start to see the lashes on this eye look, but I also think it's starting to look a little bit clumpy. So I think like 1 or 2 coats at the most, and then you stop. Alright, so I do want to go ahead and put on lashes, but I'm going to do a lip product first. I brought down a couple of different lip pencils because I wasn't quite sure where I wanted to go with this look, but I think I'm going to pull it in more towards like that burgundy purple shade and use this pencil. This is the NYX Matte Lip Suede in Clinger, and then I'm going to top that with the Colourpop Ultra Blotted Lip in Soda Pop. I think I'm the only person in the world that actually likes those matte, or I'm sorry, I think I'm the only person in the world that likes those Colourpop Ultra Blotted Lips, but I really like them. Okay, never mind you guys. That's like a really bright pink shade, even though it looks more muted. Let me grab, this is the Mirabella lip definer in Smart. I'm going to use that instead. Alright, and then let's put in Soda Pop. That's cute. And then I'm going to top it off with a little bit of Ludicrous lip gloss from Milani in Sealed with a Hiss. Alright, I really like how this looks. Let me get a couple pictures of this mascara, and then we're going to do the lashes. Alright you guys, and this is the finished look. What do we think? I think the lashes are excessive. I should have picked a smaller lash for sure, but I think the rest of the look looks really pretty. I gotta say, I actually do like the quality of this palette. I think for $10 this was a really decent purchase, or I guess like $13.99 shipped, but whatever. I think this was a really decent purchase. I do like the color story. When the palette that this dupes originally came out, I was like, there's no purple in this purple palette, but the more I looked at the color story, the more I was like, you know what, I kind of like it. I think it's kind of interesting. I like the teal, I like the red, I like some of the like pinky tones, so I think I'll actually get a good amount of use out of this. I've been craving purple palettes, which is why I needed to dig into this so that I could start using it when I'm doing my looks for work. So I wanted to put together something kind of interesting for you guys, and this is what I came up with. I do think it's a really cool look. I love kind of this void in the middle here that kind of gives the flare a little bit more interest. Of course, some of that is now covered up by these enormous lashes, but that's okay. I love how this kind of fades into nothing, so I think that's really pretty. And then this teal I think is going to look really pretty with these purples as well. So overall, I'm very happy with this palette. You guys will have to let me know if you've picked up anything from Ccolor before. If you did, what did you get? What did you like? What did you hate? So that I can definitely know what to order from them next. But overall, I'm happy with this palette. The other stuff that we used, the Ordinary products, I thought looked really good on the skin. I'm really happy with that. The Wet n Wild palette was nice. The e.l.f. palette is nice. The liquid bronzer from Flower Beauty is wonderful. The mascara that we used, it's decent. I would say 1 to 2 coats at the most. I'll have to try it with my typical like lash primer that I use, which is the Essence Volume Boosting Lash Primer. This lip gloss. I'll have to try it with that lip primer and see if it does any better for me, because right now, I don't know. I have to keep playing with it and see what I think of it. I would say, you know, my perfect mascara, the one that I go back for time after time, is the Essence Volume Boost Lash Primer and the False Lash Effect Mascara, which is the one in the black and green tube. You can usually find them on a buy one get one free or buy one get one half off. So together that lash duo is always less than $10. So for me, a higher end mascara really has to like blow me away and then some before I'm willing to switch up that $10 price tag for something more expensive. So with that being said, that is everything for this video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!